The following program contains material that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Death is something terrifying. It's not something that we would normally talk about, enjoy, or have a celebration about. Most people just avoid the topic until it comes crashing in, like a wrecking ball, and we're hugging it tightly, hoping not to fall off. But for some, death is a ritual that could span months and even years. Every 3 years, in the island of Sulawesi in Indonesia, the Torajan people hold a mass burial ceremony for their dead. While Indonesia holds the largest Muslim population in the world, in many parts of the country with thousands of islands, a lot of people still practice the way of their ancestors. Merely called aluk, or the way. This ancient animist belief is still practiced by the Torajan people and recognized officially by the government of Indonesia as Aluk Tudolo, the way of the ancestors. In the Aluk religion, funeral rites are usually the most elaborate and expensive events. The higher the rank of the person, the bigger the funeral. A ceremonial site called rant is usually prepared on large fields to host the event. Flute music, funeral chants, songs and poems, and crying and wailing are all part of the Torajan expressions of grief, with the exception for the children or the poor. Normally, the funeral is held months or years later after the death to allow the family to raise funds to cover the funeral expenses. For Torajans, death is not a sudden event, but a gradual process towards puya, the afterlife. During this time, the body will be wrapped in cloth and kept under the tongkunan, an ancestral house. The soul of the deceased is thought to linger in the village till the funeral ceremony is completed. One of the most important parts of the funeral is the slaughtering of water buffalo. The more powerful the person, the more buffaloes are killed. The Torajans believe that the buffaloes will make the journey with the dead and help them reach puya quicker. The death of tens of buffalo and hundreds of pigs are usually the climax of the funeral, with dancing and music and young boys who catch the blood in long bamboo tubes. Some of the animals are given by guests as gifts, which are noted as debts to the family. After the funeral, the body could be laid in a cave, hung on a cliff, or left in a carved stone grave. The grave will hold possessions the deceased will need in the afterlife. Protecting the grave will be a wooden effigy called a tautau. And every year, in a ritual called the manene, the bodies of the dead will be exhumed to be washed, groomed, and dressed to new clothes. Definitely, this is an interesting approach to death, and something I doubt I'll be able to do. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's episode of Midnight Horror House. My name's Lee, and we'll see you again soon.